Oh yes, the Slamology crunch is real. It's here. We're almost ready. Thank you, Kevin Hunter. He's working on every single car. The Volvo, the Eclipse, aka Cookie Monster, and getting ready for Slamology is in 1 week. Next Friday. We're going to talk about it. And of course, it's an Ask Me Anything Friday hangout, and there is LLwA starting it off. The Livin Loud with Annie's show locomotive is leaving the station. All aboard, including, is that the Warhorse? No, that's a Deviant. Go Team Green and support Livin Loud with Andy. The Caboose coming thanks to Cornut. Thank you, LLwA. Means a lot, man. And getting this party started. You guys are awesome. I love you. And without further ado, let's kick off the intro. And, you know, I thought about it. Let me do a Slamology intro for Slamology. Every intro is... Let's kick it off.
Right? You know what that means. We livin' loud.
John has entered the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on another Friday, and we plan all year for Slamology. It's right around the corner, guys. William, I love you, man. You do just gotta look at it. See you guys in a minute.
Livin Loud with Andy.
Join us June 8th and 9th at Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park for the 21st Annual Slamology Automotive and Music Festival. Sponsored by Sky High Car Audio, GageMagazine.com, And co-sponsored by Kicker Performance Audio. Bring your custom ride and take it through the dropping hertz drive-through judging lanes. Come see and hear the loudest car stereos on the planet at the GRA Car Stereo Competition. And see the biggest and baddest semi-rigs in the world at the Davis Brothers Big Rig Roundup. We like it loud at the Def Bonks Full Tilt Audio Demo all weekend. Live music on the main stage featuring DJ Shawnee D, Fat Shane, Hey Zach, Rhymicide, Hugh Jeffner, YG Boogie, Uriah G, and your Saturday headliner, Standout Story. Then on Sunday, see DJ Shawnee D, DJ Cuban, Downshift, and your Sunday headliner, Trial by Fire. Win big money at the Tuner Society two-step exhaust contest. Ladies, win up to $1,000 at the bikini contest. Check out R&L Customs Flying High Hydraulic Show. Do you have tattoos? We want to see them at the Tattoo City Underground Tattoo Contest presented by Steel Rod Tattoos. All this and more. Check out the Family Fun Zone and don't forget about the latest craze Limbo Contest. Something exciting's happening. Join us at the Mini Truckin' Magazine Block Party, hosted by DJ Maze. For all event info, check out slamcar.com. And remember, kids 10 and under are free.
Woo! Slamology. I am so excited. We're here. We're here, folks. It's next Friday. Next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I mean, there's not really a topic other than Slamology is here. I can't wait. And we're going to go live at Slamology. And I got a special treat for you guys that are going to tune in just then. I will talk about it about halfway through the show when everyone gets their seat, their favorite beverage, and everybody is here for the party. But thank you guys that are here at the beginning. I missed you. I feel like when I don't do 2 shows a week, I don't know what to do with myself other than get Cookie Monster ready, the pilot ready, the studio at Slamology ready. It's going to be insane, but I appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with me here. Cedric, what is up? Thank you for hanging out, man. Can't wait to see you see Slamology, man. You think the shows around here are crazy? Just wait. There's more. There's always more. Thanks for tuning in. Kipster, thank you for hanging out. And by the way, he became a member. Would you look at that? That's crazy. You know? Oh, wait, where's it at? Oh, new member.
I took a look at it, huh?
Oh, would you look at it?
Yeah.
You looked at it.
I looked at it.
Very good.
I kept looking at it.
He definitely took a look at it, and he became a member of the green team. Thank you, Kip. Appreciate you, man. And, you know, I can't wait to talk to Kip later. I've been just doing some install stuff with the key lock and the pilot, like I was saying, and just trying to get the best signal and the best sound out of the system. And, you know, in preparation for Slamology, just in case someone wants to hear a really loud quad box alongside Cookie Monster, it will be there. And it's going to be awesome. Thank you, 25. Let them know.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
Ready?
Peace. Thank you, 25, for just always being here, tuning in, and hopefully you make Slamology one of these years. I heard that you were there, but we cannot confirm nor deny. Thanks for hanging out, man. Tree, True Love, appreciate that you're here as well. Thank you for hanging out. Let me know if you guys are going to Slamology. I was going to make a poll, but I didn't run in. I did not have enough time. Just been doing a lot every single day, getting ready for this. Just got the Eclipse inspected, new control arm, system in, everything's done. Now I just got to clean it. And, you know, just the very final touches and getting that ready to go. I'm so excited, man. It's been a mission, but we got it. Let's see here. RVH, what's up? Thanks for tuning in as well, man. I don't know if you're going to Slam. I would love to meet you, man. And I get to meet a lot of you guys for the first time. And some of you that tuned in, you came out last year, which was insane. And make sure you stop by the Kicker booth. We do a group photo. That's, yeah, we're cheesy, but you know what I mean? It's just life is short. Might as well take a photo. Make it last forever. But yes, Robert Hi-Fi Vega, Justin, aka DIY Audio Guy, is going to be there. And, you know, a few others too, you know, and it's just the big names. And obviously you guys that tune in, I can't wait to meet you guys. And I feel like Slamology, that is what it's for. You know, it's a big show. And it's worth it for people to travel across the entire, well, pretty much the globe, to go out there. It doesn't get much better than this. It really doesn't. And it looks like we got some gifted memberships from Double E. Thank you, Double E.
Bass hitting hard. Yeah, yeah. Turn down for what? Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Double E, gifting 5 memberships to the green team. And you'll see their names popping up there. Thank you so much, Double E. Appreciate you. And this guy is literally traveling the globe to go out to Slamology, all the way from Thailand. Now, if you're thinking, man, I don't know if I got enough gas money to go, this guy's insane. So put the pennies together, come out one of these years. It's definitely going to be worth it. Thank you, Double E. Appreciate you, man. And yes, William, you just got to look at it. Would you look at that? Would you just look at that? That's all you're going to be doing at Slamology. There's so many builds to look at and get demos of. And some you got to stand in line. You might need a speed pass or, you know, slip a guy a 20. Hey, let me get in front of you. There's a lot of people there. It's really insane. It really is. It's when you go there, like Slamology, I can't even try to describe it of, you know, any other aspect in life of just how loud it is. The bass you can't get away from, even when you're going to the bathroom and you want some peace. There's 40 hertz and a lot of wasted information just shaking the walls that are cement. It's really insane. And there's also a car side too, not just the car audio side, and other things too with trucks and lowriders and hydraulic builds and you name it. We've seen the little ad there. I wanted to show that for you guys in case you never went. But still, there's a lot to see at Slamology. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it kind of just did. Appreciate you guys. Audio Dad, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. This will be my 4th year bringing my van to Slamology. I think I'm on 4 or 5. I went 2018, 2019, COVID. Next year didn't go, 22, 23, 24 to 5. Yeah, man, you know, it's worth it every year, you know, just for what we do. You know, the local shows are great. You get that one-on-one, but if you want to go for the Grand Slam, that's what Slamology is, and you get to show off your build to a lot of people and get to really meet some of the icons in car audio, between the dealers, between the brand owners, between just the demo guys, the competition build guys, the whole nine, and it's really awesome. That's cool that you know, been there 4 times, and I'll definitely have to meet you, man. I will be mostly at the Kicker booth, but I will be walking around some. Let's see. Joseph Keenan, Andy bought the quad box soon as he left Slam last year. That was actually the year before. I did bring the quad box up to Slam last year, but yes, the year before I found out that the quad box was on kicker.com, and you know those 50% off discount codes? Yeah. I'm like, Bill, yeah, I'm getting a quad box. He's like, well, how are you going to ship it to your door? I'm like, I will find a way. I went to Pittsburgh to a freight company and picked it up. I mean, you can do it. You definitely can do it. And nowadays, I think it's a little different. But still, this was the early days when it first came out, first on the website. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love that quad box. MBE versus stew boxes versus cornut boxes. I feel like a box is a box, and to a point. You know, it's like you put a speaker into an enclosure and it's going to make bass. How well is it going to do it is always the problem of what is better. And, you know, I feel like each builder that you list in here has their own pros and cons, you know, and maybe not many cons and more pros and vice versa. But it does come down to how much are you paying that designer, or is he designing and building it? And there's just a lot of factors that go into that. But I mean, if I gotta pick, I'm gonna have to go with the cornet box. I said it. I'm going with it. I'm going with the caboose. That's the OG, man. But we know our man's doing MBE. I don't know. It's a tough race 25. Thank you, man. I see RVH. I was going to make it. Unfortunately, my condition has screwed with my circulation in my legs. Wouldn't be able to walk around that much. That's good and okay because we got a go-kart too. A golf cart. Same thing. But right, it is a lot of walking at Slamology. But hey, just put some ice on it. You might be all right. Maybe next year, RVH. Going on, HD Phillips. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you hanging out on Facebook. And yeah, we're streaming all over the place, as you guys already know. And got on the website too. I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. Cool. Yeah, I threw that up. Slamology map. We can get to that. No biggie. Let's read the comments here. What do we got? Anything fancy? It's a must that you autograph my shirt, bro. You know, you're the second person today that's asked me for an autograph, and that's truly the most awkward, awesome feeling a person can have. You know, I'm not going to be charging for signatures. I would never do that. But, you know, I've done that, and I think like one other person asked me, and it's awesome, man. It really is. I got you, bro. I got you. I really do. It is awkward. I'm terrible at receiving compliments, things like that. But when I get home, I'm cheesing, man. I'm cheesing. You guys bring tears to my eyes sometimes. You really do. Guys are awesome. I love doing this stuff, and it's the little things. Let's see. Scott, then watch everyone's. Blake, make sure you play 12,000 hertz. I mean, I wouldn't say that's wasted information, but depending how old you are, you might not even be able to hear 12,000 hertz. You know what I mean? Especially if you keep your super tweeters too loud. I know a guy that does that. Basshead 30, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that you're here, man. Always here. This guy's always tuning in, like a lot of you guys, but man, OG. OG as they come. Let's see, we got Stoic. What's going on, David? Thanks for tuning in, man. David, you know the guy. Blake says, my biggest issue with 90% of the loud builds is they sound like they have 7,000 hertz low pass. You know, right? It's too much mids. A lot of times I hear guys trying to show off their doors, and it's like, we get it. You mid, bro. We get it. You know, it's like, it's not like we're looking for bass, especially in an open atmosphere like that. It's really hard to do. But then again, it's like really hard to make it sound crystal clear and balanced, not flat, balanced to how, you know, music should sound. And, you know, I don't know, man. Every time I build a setup, yes, there's going to be limitations, but then I try to make it better each time to get more of that balanced sound in my car. Like Cookie Monster, like, yeah, it's not, quote, the loudest it's ever been. It's not, quote, the windiest it's ever been, but it sounds the best it ever has. And the electrical is the best it ever been. And I'm excited for you guys to hear this. And it's nice to have an actual temperature sensor, too, to know how hot my coil's getting, which is definitely a plus when you're going for hours and hours at Slamology. But regardless, man, you got to have that balanced sound. And you don't want just all mids. You definitely don't. Uncle Bobby B, where's it at? Where's it at?
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Thanks for tuning in, Bobby. Appreciate that you are always here as well, man. And I know Disney World's a little far away from Slamology, but maybe we'll get you out there one day. Maybe one day. We got a $10 super chat from... Oh, wait, that thing is still going in the background. I keep hearing Slamology going. I hear kicker. I can't. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Computer's excited, too. Thank you, El Fuego, for a $10 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Now, that's what Slamology is going to sound like on everyone's iPhones on the recording. So make sure you go there so you actually get the real thing. El Fuego with a $10 super chat. I got the best of all worlds in box builds. Excuse me. Stu's design with a core nut build, including some special adjustments. I call in the Stu Nut Special. The Comp Q15 on 1,000 watts can't be beat. I know you got the design from Stu, and Cornut cut it for you and put it together, and also installed your setup, man. And Stu, I mean, he's got at least 3 kicker builds of the week in the past like year and some change. We've been doing them and stuff, and I try to spread them out, but he has so many awesome builds that he puts together for his shop. And Cornut as well, man. You know, it's awesome that we have guys like this in our inner circle, and I know there's more out there. We're trying to bring more in because you guys are awesome, and to spread the love is crazy. That's what you guys do, and especially these two for you, man. Thank you, El Fuego. Appreciate you always tuning in, and I know I'll get to meet you one day as well, sir. Maybe not this year at Slamology, but eventually I will meet you. Thank you as always, sir. Dubby's already got it. Dubby has already got it. Appreciate you tuning in, Dubster. Thanks for hanging out, man. Wade, I'm behind on the comments a little here. I hope you're still tuning in on Facebook there. Can't wait to see you, man. This guy, the first time I met him, and then after that, I was excited to give him a demo again. You know, there's some people that just truly enjoy my setup, and it's like, because it's not, you know, it's not ripping your face off, so some people are going to be like, yeah, it sounds good, but you know what I mean? It's not a 160. So, and plus being there's a lot of really windy builds. So you truly have to appreciate sound, you know, in that regard. And this guy truly does. Can't wait to see you again, man. Appreciate you, Wade. VC Jester, thanks for tuning in, sir. I got you, Cedric. I'm going to have to bring 2 Sharpies in case we run out of ink on one or I just lose the first one, because that's probably what's going to happen first. Thank you, Cedric. Appreciate you, man. And, oh, would you look at that? It's Dave. It's Dave. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the like. You gotta hit the like. Problem. It's real easy. That thing that goes like this. Pretty simple.
That's it. Thank you, Dave. Like he said, guys, do not forget to hit the like. We got 21 likes on YouTube, 30 and 90 being Nebby. Make sure you smash the like, as always. And Dave, that's where we got that clip, guys, from Slamology when I'm live there. So, and that's going to be 2 o'clock Eastern time. I think that's Eastern or Central. Whatever 2 o'clock is in Indianapolis. That's Slamology. Come to the Kicker booth. We're going to be live for an hour and some change. And since we got a pretty full crowd here, 43 guys in here tonight, we are not going to be doing Kicking It With Andy on Tuesday. We're going to be doing it on Saturday at Slamology. So it's going to be the Kicking It With Andy giveaway, unmasked giveaway with the bullfrog, you know, everything else, the TW1s, the normal prizes, and the 50% off discount code. And I think that's pretty cool too, because the people at Slamology can walk right up and enter the giveaway. So it might be extra rigged on that show. It's gonna be great. Just got the approval for it, so it's gonna be awesome. And make sure you guys enter and tune in. Look for the short. That's something else I gotta do now. I'm like, I can make it happen. No problem. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I don't have a million things to do right now, but I'm okay. I'm getting everything done. I just, I worry a little bit too much. But with Slamology, there's no going back. You can't say, hey, can we push Slamology back a day? They don't even do that for the rain, so they ain't going to do it for me. I got to be ready. Everything's got to be just. Thank you, Dave, for always tuning in, telling these guys to smash the like. Can't wait to see you as well, sir. I know, they really are, man, you know, and I don't want to ever say, hey, you got to do this because I do that, but at the same time, I want it to be that they enjoy it like I do, you know, and honestly, to get pro help from anybody to get into something like that, they're going to be starting off on the right foot, man. It's going to be awesome, and I'm excited, man. Between my daughter, my boys, it's one of them. Out of the three, they're going to be a bass head, full tilt boogie. Keith, Brandon, just subscribed. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you for subscribing. Would you look at that? Would you look at that?
Oh, look at that.
That is awesome. And again, Simon, thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Justin says he will be there. That's awesome. That is awesome. You know, and with these shows, and you see people that you see only on YouTube or what have you, and you see them in person, I can't describe that feeling. You know what I mean? Like when I first saw like XO or what have you, it was like, oh my God, he's a real person. He's real. What? And that's what's so cool about these shows, man. Brings everybody on that same level almost. It's really cool. Appreciate all you guys. Stoic's going crazy in there. Wade says, oh, yes. I'm excited too, man. You know, man, this is literally what I plan all year for. And I know a lot of you guys do too. Let's see. I'm behind on the comments. Let me catch up. You can look at Wiz over here while I'm catching up on the comments. Let's see here. Tasty hot sauce doesn't come from New York City. Where's it coming from? Yinsburg? Sorry, we got a little bit of algae on the tank. We got no more solo in there to keep everything clean. I got to get some snails in there, but you can't do that. It's like throwing a capacitor on your electrical to fix your lights dimming. It's not the key, man. It's really not. More water changes definitely help. Let's see here. I don't have my one fancy camera with the wide view because I just didn't feel like firing up. Plus, I got to get that ready for Cookie Monster so I can get your guys' footage in there like how we do for all the intros. I think that's the coolest thing, man. Dubby. Oh, he's talking about this Andrew. I was like, when does he call me Andrew? When does he call me Andrew? All right, no way. I will be at Slam somewhere. If you are, I owe you a handshake and a drink of choice, sir. Wait, Dave is going to Slamology. This is going to be awesome. I mean, even last year I said, you know, this is going to be the best year ever. And I catch myself doing it again. Like, I'm not just saying this stuff. It's going to be the best one ever. And, man, you guys make it. You really do. And I feel like without doing this live show, I wouldn't be able to see like the progression of, you know, how these shows kind of grow and word of mouth and what your guys' thoughts are in just general. I love being in this position. I really do. I miss going live too. I'm like, I have a lot to talk about. And, you know, you miss a day, it feels like you miss three. Wade says, what do we gotta do to get Ed Bassmaster at Slamology 20? We gotta get him there. And you know what he's gonna be doing. He's gonna be like, oh, would you look at that kicker? Just look at that. Oh, would you look at that? It would sundown. Oh, no, that's okay. But look at that. Oh, would you just look at that? Whole time, I would be ecstatic to see him there. It'd be like a mirror. He is so funny, man. And I could see him going out to something like that too. You know what I mean? Like he goes out into where a lot of people are, you know, like a random park, but like New York City, going to something like that, he'd go nuts. He wouldn't be able to stop looking at it. That would be the problem there. Let's see here. We got some. Okay, no star. John's still sitting in the back. Those were the super chats. It would be epic, Wade. It would be epic. Let's see. Dubby. I read this and I'm like, all right, what do we got here? What do we got here? Question, Andy, I tried to figure out what size wire to use in my Civic. What do you think? Also, I tried to draw Big Jeff again. It's still a circle. Hey, you know, physics are physics. But with the power wire, same. Physics is physics. And, you know, it depends on the type of, you know, just material you're using. If you're using CCA or OFC or a blend of the two with some cheaper stuff or what have you. And if it's actually pure, you know what I mean? Like it's not just undersized, you know, it's actually audit out correctly or whatever, however you pronounce that and categorize that. And it depends the amount of current and also your batteries, because like just say you don't have enough, you're going to be pulling even more current because your voltage is going to be dropping lower, and it just tends to happen that way for some reason. If you got more batteries in the back or a better alternator and you have the same amplifier and the voltage is staying higher, it tends to actually pull less current unless the amplifier just starts making more power. It kind of is a balancing act, but still, it all depends what you got, man. It really does. I would say yes. I would say yes, Debbie. Blake says 8-aught to 10-aught 10 gauge reducer for the Tariant 400.4. I mean, I think that's a little underkill. I think, honestly, Blake, you could go a little bit bigger on that. You know, I don't know if they got much bigger than that, but just, you know, just a solid lead pipe, well, copper pipe, you know what I mean? Just solid, and then that might be enough to power that 4-channel. John says, not gonna lie, Slamology would be a great spot for Ed Bassmaster to make a video. Imagine him in the back lots with people who really want to show off their builds. Man, I think he would kind of like, he would have to break character. There's just no way. There's just so much going on there. He's just going to be, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Oh, would you just look at that? All over the place, you know, like the whole time. But that'd be the perfect place. I wish there was a way I could contact his team of personnel and be like, hey, would you look at this? You need to come out here one of these days. Just take a look at it. God. Mike DePoli, thanks for tuning in. Love ya, Dubby. Appreciate ya. Love you too, Mike. I know you were saying that to me. You just mistyped Andy. It's okay. Love you too, man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. And let's see here. I think I caught up on a lot of the comments. I've been kind of bouncing around. Chip Diamond at the SPL competition. Psh, psh, nah, unreal. Psh, yeah. Demo kicker. Psh, yeah, kicker tent. Yeah. Question: would you be getting a Warhorse 4-channel? Man, right in the gut, 25. Right in the gut. I swear, this guy, he's got my phone tapped. I'm not even answering that one. You know, I wish I had it for Slamology to have it matching with the Warhorse 3600.1s. So I will answer it. But honestly, it's just not enough time at this point, you know, because I'm going to have to retune everything. Everything is dialed in as pretty close as I want it to be. But I know on the way at Slamology, I'm still going to be going, you know what I mean? Like the final tweaks on the 5.5-6 hour drive that I have to do. Just basing out, trying not to blow the sub, but also tuning it and see its limitations on the temperature without overdoing it. So I know where I can just kind of go full tilt boogie for a long time or a short time, depending what I'm trying to do and who gets in the seat, you know, because that makes a difference. If it's just somebody I don't know, I'm probably not going to try to blow my coils off. But you know, if it's like W or somebody, yeah, full tilt boogie, full send, give them the beans, give them all the cookies. But still, with the amplifier, I'd have to retune all that, and it would still fit in the same footprint pretty much as the 400.4s that I have, and a lot more power. I wouldn't need both of them, but still, for the ST door speakers, instead of seeing 50 watts each channel, or actually it's like 100 now because I got them bridged to 2, don't do that. And, you know, it's getting a little bit more power, but still, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have more power on those Street Series 7s and 9s. The super tweeters, they don't need any more power. They don't. The 3.5s, those are good. And they're right in your face. They're close, high frequencies. That's all they do. But yes, definitely for the mid-range, I could use more power. And that's what the 1000.4 is really designed for. You know, the Street Series line. Truly is. Let's see. That's the sauces. Okay. Caught up down there. Kip, question, Andy, give us an update on the WX 3600.1 in your car. You know, with the 2 Warhorses, 2 of the WXA 3600.1s in Cookie Monster, they're running cold. They're running really cold. I have not yet got the yellow light. It's on green light for the temperature. I haven't even got it to the yellow of that, and it goes to red. And my electrical's been solid. I think the lowest I've seen is 13.7, you know, with that ultra capacitor under the hood, or the super bank, whatever you want to call it, from Excess Power, and the 2JY40s and the 320 Ohio Gen. It's like perfect, but still, they're really efficient amplifiers. And also, I have each Warhorse only at 2 ohms on each coil on the Solo X. So it's like giving it the best case scenario of being an efficient amplifier, but yet still dumping out a lot of power. We've seen it on the dyno and with the kicker stream on Tuesday, which was awesome. I like how you guys went into that. And it actually did more power on your test on the AP1 or whatever, on the AP, compared to the 81. And I've noticed that too, also with the SPL LAB, that I get more power than the dyno shows, and just with just how it calculates the power and stuff. But still, even on the 81 and right, like 4 ohm runs, that amplifier's doing 2000 watts. You know what I mean? Almost uncertified. That's really what we're looking at. You know, we're not keeping it 0% THD at Slamology. You know, we're playing at some, but again, you know, 85 to 88% efficient. You know, and that's with music. It's an awesome amplifier, and with the wireless bass knob that I have paired with it, that you really want to have any kind of external bass knob when you're in competition mode like I am, so you don't have to set the gains, you don't have to set the crossover, you don't have to worry about phase alignment, none of that. It just does it for you, but you have to have some kind of external RCA low-level adjustment for your bass, so that you still have control other than just your head unit that could also do that as well. But still, I like on the fly quick reactions. But yeah, it's doing awesome so far, and man, I can't wait to really put it through its paces. With the old Warhorse that I had in there, I had that thing dialed down. I mean, a 10,000 watt amplifier and it was at 2 ohms on the Warhorse. Guess how many watts it did at 2 ohms? 10,000. So that was 10,000 RMS on that thing. Now I got 5,000 RMS on the Solo X18. That is 5,000 RMS. So it's really an ideal situation of power handling, and with kicker of how they do their amplifiers, you're going to see a little bit more power than what they are rated on the box, and that's pretty cool too, because then you don't have to push it to clipping per se to get the potential out of what that woofer can do, and still stay in that power limit of that driver. And that's kind of the key, and that's why a lot of places say, you know, 125% of the subwoofer power is what the amplifier size should be. And I feel like with kicker, you almost kind of do get that 25%, maybe not exactly that, at least 12%, you know, overrated. And I think that does help if you do your tuning right, and it gives you some leniency to say, hey, maybe if your electrical's not perfect, it gives you a little bit bigger of a window. I love the Warhorse. It's doing great so far, and I take care of my stuff. I don't have it at half ohm anymore, Kip, but even at half ohm on the Solo X12 and Kayla's car, it was eating. It was eating. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. Go to school. Oh, let's see here. Can I request a song when I hear yours? Sure, but it better play below 40 hertz, and I'm not just saying that. Like, my window is like 20 to 40, but it depends what I'm trying to do. Most musical stuff, 28 to 40. So around there, sure, we will try it. We will try it. Let's see. Oh, we got a super chat from Deviant.
I got pennies.
Deviant has arrived. You're welcome, Andy Rules. Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about horses, and would you look at that? We got a horse head right here. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for throwing the pennies. Deviant, appreciate you, man. Hope you and your family are doing well, and we might see a horse head at Slamology. It's either going to be you or Mike DePoli with the horse head. I don't know. We're going to have to play Scooby, you know? Like, why, Scoob? Who's this? Oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? And then pull off the horse head, and then, there's Deviant, you know? Maybe there's just another horse head underneath there. Jake's going to freak out. Why, Scoob? What's going on, Kanga? Thanks for tuning in. Bass. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate ya. At this point, I only trust the audio precision. Okay. I think we need an amp dyno show off, or you know what I mean? Like, they already kind of did that on Unmasked, but I have good faith in the SPL Lab. I think it'll do better than the 81 dyno. And that makes sense. It's a product that is constantly being upgraded, per se, the SPL Lab. I'm sure the AP dyno as well. The AP precision. But the 81, I don't see them, making revisions on it. There's not that many out there, and it's a one-trick pony, and that's fine. But that's why I love my SPL Lab, and I feel lucky to ever have gotten involved with SPL Lab, because everybody just loves Term Lab. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's great, it's certified, but the SPL Lab can do so much more, and that's why Blake loves the AP. That's why I love the SPL Lab versus the Term Lab. And, it can do a few things, not what the AP can do by any means, but it still can, I don't even know what you would call it, tickle more to the iceberg, per se, than the 81. The dynamic duo in effect. Yes, we got him. Question, do you ever think John K would get one when in MK3 Modern? Wish I knew what that was on a Modern Warfare. Well, it happened. Win streak ends at 474. John plays too many first-person games. I tried playing him. I forget what game it was, but it didn't matter. It's like I wasn't using my controller properly. It's good. You guys are nuts, man. I used to play video games, and then I quit, and I tried, and now I remember why I quit. Let's see. Kip, car audio enthusiast, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you again tuning in here with us. And, man, hope you're doing well, sir. Oh, and I seen your video. Thanks for the shout out. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. That's the thing with car audio, man. We are always learning. If you're not asking questions, like I'm asking questions all the time, man, because I still get stumped on stuff. I'm like, I'm looking at it, but it still ain't working right. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? The AP is a true laboratory grade tool. It's going to be more precise. Right, and I feel like it's still apples and oranges, because the AP is more for diagnosing amplifier, just schematics. The 81 is for power. And between the two of them, I know with the AP1, from what I heard from my source, is it's more of it assumes the load and the resistance. And that's what it is. Now, with the SPL Lab, it doesn't just assume it. Like, you can't just type a number in. It calculates it by, current and voltage. And, and there's differences with that. Maybe a Hall sensor is not 100% accurate. Could you use a shunt on that? Probably. It might be more accurate. But regardless, it does it that way. Now, with the 81, I'm not too sure. I think it might be the same way, where it assumes the resistance whenever it's doing that power run. Not that that's a good or bad thing, but they operate different. And that's kind of what I'm talking about here. A $35,000+ testing equipment that can just literally tell you how many times you took a breath and step at the same time today, compared to one that just measures your heart rate. That's what we're talking about here, and the SPL Lab's like, oh, it'll measure your heart rate and like your oxygen, percentage and a few other things. And that's about it. That's about it. There's less going on between the both of them. The AP is the king, man. The price tag also reflects that too. It has to. Let's see. Dubby says, question, after you answer King Clipple, can you let us know what you're clamping with that 3600? Well, I wanted to meter it before Slamology. I have to set the two 1800s on the quad box. I have to set their gains with the SPL LAB. So that's going to give me an excuse to bring all the equipment outside, and I might as well maybe meter Cookie Monster. But to give you a guesstimate, I would say probably 1800 watts per coil, after rise on that. So 3600 watts, give or take, out of the 2 amplifiers. Now, that might not be a lot, but that's clamped. That's not RMS. But regardless, I had it wired at half ohm in Kayla's car, and I got all 3,600 watts out of one, rising to like 2.1 ohms, dropping down to 12.9, full tilt boogie, but still, I could see it had a lot of power, and it's an awesome amplifier. It really is. It really is. I just got my wire low as I can. It was either 1 amp at 1 ohm or 2 amps at 2, and in my mind, I think I'm going to get more power. It's mathematically the same, if you just look at it. But with how that amplifier works, and also the efficiency factor, each amplifier, let's just say my rise doesn't exist, because the factor is going to be pretty much the same if I wire on each coil on 2 or together on 1. But to keep it simple, at 1 ohm, the amplifier does like 70% efficient. And at 2 ohm, it does like 80s. You know what I mean? So, yes, they could make the same power combined watts, but then the efficiency, what it's pulling from your electrical, is better. So, it does make sense to do it in that aspect. And my electrical has been awesome. Like, it is 14.4, 14.5 majority of the time, and even like it idle for a certain amount of time. The only time I get to 13.7, I turn the AC on. You know what I mean? Because then it's like pulling a little bit more than what the alternator can do, and everything can't buffer as good, and just all that fun stuff, and just whatever. So it's an awesome amplifier. I can't wait for you guys to finally get them in your hands. You're gonna love them, and they're tiny and they're small. Let's see. Cornut. Well, I got to do this one.
Cornut. He does traveling installs.
Thank you, Cornut, for gifting a membership. Appreciate you. Always tuning in. Can't wait to see you at Slamology, man. And thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you do. Honestly. Truly. Let's see. Okay, going to third base. So, what's a good head unit to start with looking at starting a build? In an 07 Nissan Altima, it has a double din. Thank you, William, for tuning in. Man, head units. I need a new one as well. For Cookie Monster, I'm still rocking Kenwood, but its Bluetooth function is okay at best. And Kayla's got an excellent Pioneer with wireless CarPlay, 4-volt pre-out all over the place. So it really does come down to your personal preference, but look for key features. 3 sets of low-level output. 2 for your subwoofer, left, right. 2 for your front and 2 for your rear. Bare minimum, just so that you have control without having to add a DSP, which you might do down the road, and then you never have to use any of those settings ever again, and you might only need 1 pre-out, and that's it. The DSP can just branch it out to everything else, and that's what's cool about the Down for Sound standalone DSP that they got coming out for $59. I really want it. You know what I mean? For just a lot of things, to have a lot of control, got app built-in features. But again, if you're just sticking with the head unit, that's what I would look for. And also, look to see if it actually has crossover capability. Kayla picked up this Boss radio for me at Walmart. It was like 60% off. She's like, do you want it? I'm like, sure, just get it. Plus, Boss with their head units, you can't really mess it up too much. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a go. Take a look at it for me. Does it have any, pre-outs on the back? She's like, yeah, it's got 6. I'm like, oh, would you look at that? Okay, it might have some, future in one of my builds. That was short-lived. No crossover capability. It's just, you got equalizer, fader, and subwoofer control. Very basic. So when you're going to buy a head unit, be very particular of what you want. Write down things that you need. Look at other ones that are real expensive. Look at what they have, and then pick what you really need. You know, and I feel like control with your stereo is king. Not cone area, not nothing else. It's control. Because if you can't control your sound, it ain't going to sound good. And it all starts from the radio. Thank you, William, for tuning in. Appreciate you. And let's keep going. Man, I was a little behind, but Budget Audio with Jay. What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, man. I really want to buy those Steeler cards. I just have barely any money left. Speaking of which, I do want to talk about that. I dropped $750 on the Eclipse just this week in the past 3 days. Half of it was foreseen, the other half wasn't. I misplaced. We'll say misplaced. I don't know where they went, but I lost my keys to my Eclipse. I only had one key. I took it off the keychain because I kept taking it to shops to get it inspected, driving back, forth, doing this, doing that. I kept it off the keychain, like my kicker lanyard, and I left it on the back of the Eclipse. I wake up the next morning. I had a feeling. I'm like, I don't know where I left my key. I think I left it out there. I got there. Nowhere. We looked everywhere. Lost my key. Long story short, I had to pay $350 for a new key. At least they came out there. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I have no key for my car. How am I going to get it to Slamology? Like, and I got to get it inspected. I got to get the control arms done. I got to get the system done, and I can't turn it on. I can't move it. I can't do anything. Definitely hit the panic button, to say the least. So that's the main reason why I just don't have any extra money right now. Otherwise, I would be okay. And I hate pulling from the family's finances. That's what I'm not. Like, I have money. I'm never broke. I'm never broke. But my own money for the YouTube and all my stuff that I do, that's separate. And yeah, I just wasted it. Not wasted it, but it came in clutch. I had it, and yeah, I needed it. Appreciate you, man. Need to wire to quarter ohm. And you know what? After looking at Derek's dyno and whatever, you probably could. Maybe 0.33, because it seemed like it had no problem at 0.8. And I think it did a uncertified or certified run at half ohm, but then it shut off. That's what they do. It's like high current going through whatever. Once it hits a certain kind of current voltage or current number, an amount of current through there, they shut down. And that's just so you don't fry stuff. That's so you don't fry stuff. So could you wire down there? Sure, man. If you got 4 rise, you're only rising to 1 ohm then. You know what I mean? At that frequency, if that's what you're trying to do. So just because it's whatever doesn't mean it's impossible. And if you play it like very low volume, usually never is a problem because you're never going over that current. That's the thing. And a lot of amplifiers, they don't have safety built in. So when you go over that current limit, you get carried away. You want it to be as loud as it was at 2 ohm. Well, now you're creating a lot more current and at that same power, or whatever. And you just don't even realize it. Like whenever you're clamping 400 more watts with your system, that's a 2000 watt setup normally. You can't tell a difference between 2000 watts and 2400. Like you can, but you really can't. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why they say like double, or at least another 1000 watts. You can kind of tell, it's like a percentage of like how much more you're increasing. And then I'm sure that like that percentage goes down as louder and louder as you get because your ears and your body and how it perceives loud dBs at those low frequencies. It's not linear. It's not. So yeah, wire to just dead short. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you did it, that was because of Blake. I'm going to get Blake in trouble too here. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Roger, thank you for tuning in. Just dropping by, checking in on my man. Keep up that great work, sir. Thank you for always being here, Roger, and I appreciate you, man. A lot of you guys are like brothers to me, and Roger is definitely one of them. Thanks for hanging out, and miss you, buddy. Diesel Man. Diesel, man, is there another comment from him? Appreciate it, but never been on that Discord. We got lots of Discords. Let's see. Budget. He's not going to Slamology, but I hope y'all enjoy every minute of it, and don't let Andy stop giving demos till the subs go. LOL. Just kidding. Man, you know, I should, if best case scenario happens here, I should have an extra spare. And, yeah, we could probably go full tilt boogie. And, you know, there's always Rainology, and I'm sure, like, you know, higher humidity, that means I can just turn it up louder, right? Because air molecules denser, or you might not even need to. Who knows? I don't know. I will, man. And there's always next year, buddy. I can't wait to meet you as well. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Let's see. Man. I'm going to say I'm rusty, but I'm not rusty. I was excited to do the show. It's just been a lot. And getting ready, man. I got so much more to do. So much more. But, like, the car's done. Like, if I drove it to Slamology right now, it'd be fine. It's just, I got to clean it, man. It's got fur and glue and things. And I got to clean it. I got to clean my shoes, man. Let's see. Go Pioneer. I like the Pioneers, man. I really do. Kip says, Kenwood, Alpine are my favorites. JVC Pioneer behind that for me. Yeah, I like Alpines too. I have that on my amp dyno right now. It's an old Alpine, you know, it works. 2-volt pre-out, but it's solid. That's why I was looking for another head unit. I might still even try that Boss one. I don't need crossovers on an amp dyno. I just need clean signal. I do want to check it with the SPL LAB to see if it's truly like low distortion coming out of that low end pre-out. And, you know, just, yeah, absolutely, man. JVC, Pioneer. I feel like with head units, it's just like bass. You know, some brands are great in a lot of aspects, and some are good for budget, and some are good for more expensive stuff. Like Kenwood, Alpine, that's going to be more expensive. You walk into Best Buy, they're usually more than $500. Sometimes cheaper for like singletons and stuff, obviously, but they're higher price tag stuff. And when you have a stereo system, that is your heart. That is what's telling everything to do everything. It is almost more so the brain of your system. And if you got a dummy brain, you know, and it's just it doesn't got too many wrinkles on it, it's not going to be working too great. So you might want to start good there, just so that everything else down the line sounds good. And you got that control that I was talking about, because control is king. It really is. I'm going with that, man. It really is. Power's nice, but if you can't control it, it's like having 500 horsepower and no steering wheel. If you can't control it, what's the point, man? I mean, if you're just going straight, sure, it works. And it all depends what you're trying to do. Justin, what does the down for sound go down to for subwoofer hertz? I don't know with their DSP. It's not even out yet. That's all pre-order. And I've seen a few screenshots and stuff. But I mean, if you have a DSP, I don't know, it probably could limit it, but most amplifiers just have a physical, you know, high pass built in or infrasonic built in for the low frequencies and stuff. You can only play so low, and it's going to have a natural roll off. But, I mean, as long as you're playing above 20 hertz, you're never really going to have to worry about on a lot of amplifiers. Now, with the kicker ones, they usually have a switch for the 25 hertz infrasonic for, like, the low frequencies. But it all depends, you know, really what. Most people aren't playing that low. God, if I say below 25 hertz is wasted information, I'm going to be next. Aaron, put me up on the wall beside you. But still, it almost is. It almost is. But I still catch myself playing 15, 14 hertz going, it's fun, you know? It's like, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Thanks for tuning in, Justin. Appreciate you, man. Doug says, the problem with the Boss head units is I've had two that didn't even put out a volt RMS for the signal. Right. It did not even list it on the box, the voltage pre-out. So it's something to test. It might have said 4 volt. I don't know. I will double check. I'll let you guys know next time I look at it again, because it's in the pilot. I do want to use it. I have a dual over there too. I got for $30. I just keep buying the cheap ones, you know, just because it's got the pull out dual screen. You know, I used to have one back in the day. The screen stopped working. I don't recommend those for bass, but it only has one set of pre-outs in the back, and guess what? It's just full range, and there's no control on it. But that one was like $25, $30, and it's like, that's the thing, man. You want to spend money on your head unit because it's got to have good pre-out voltage. It doesn't need the moon. It doesn't. A solid 4 to 8 volt pre-out, I mean, that's all you ever need with most amplifiers, you know? And I've talked with Kip about this. Well, he brought it up. And to not use the low level output, don't even use those. You know, you got like 15 volts, give or take, coming out of your 4 speakers, you know, out of your 4 channels of your radio. And you can use that and tap into a Kissel and send that directly to your kicker amplifier that can take up to 40 volts pre-out. You don't need nothing else. You could add a key lock in there to maybe restore some things, but I mean, if the head unit's okay, you never even have to do that step. And again, you kind of want to have control, and that's why I'm excited with some things coming down the road with Kicker, to have more control of your system with everything else that they already have, with all the integration with the key products. It's the missing key. It really is. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I could use that. I need something to just stand alone with me. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. So you don't always have to use it, but when you're lacking control, yeah, you might need it. You might need it. And you want those 4 volt pre-out. Kicker has marine head units. I know. I went to KMC5 and I already thought about it with Cookie Monsters Dash. I just didn't get to it. Like I had it in my cart so many times, Kip. It's not even funny. I just never pulled the trigger, and I forgot. I started buying batteries, doing Kayla's car, and just I put mine on the back burner. Probably next year. Has to be next year, because my head unit's on the skits. It's working, but it's just, I'm tired of fighting with the Bluetooth every time. But yes, and make a little custom facing for it, which I already have Cookie Monster as a head unit already. I can just put more shag behind it and it's done, and run the Kicker Marine KMC5 or whatever, and it's almost the size of a double din, and have so much control, and like 6 channels of output, and just everything else that, you know, Kicker does. You know, like they may or may not make that head unit from the dirt below Stillwater, but still they put their touch on every single product. And that's the cool thing about it. So if they don't like how it sounds, they're going to make it sound better, put better product in there. And you really want to go with something that has quality from the start. You do, man. Garbage in, garbage out. Same goes for the head unit. Thank you, Kip. Man, I am so far behind on the comments. Never say never, but I know head units other than Marine UTV are not on the produce map currently. I know, you know, and I know it's a big, I've asked the elephant, you know, like why no car audio head units for Kicker, and it's a big market, like as in lots and lots and lots of competition, and a lot of competition that is willing to sacrifice quality for price. And who doesn't want something cheaper? And I know with Kicker, man, they try and try and try to not ever cut the quality. You know what I mean? And keep the price as low as they can that makes sense to them and to the customer. So to just not go into it, I get it, but at the same time, I wish they did. I mean, they're in there with the L7X. I mean, you could always make it like that. But still, them making the L7X, there's going to be other people that want that. And I know a lot of guys that might want a Kicker head unit, man. I am the kind of guy, if you couldn't tell with this entire bedroom, I like to match things with Kicker. And yeah, to have that final touch, and that's what's cool. I mean, I will do the Marine head unit, but maybe down the road, you might see kicker head units. You never know, for your everyday vehicle. And walk into Best Buy, oh, would you look at that? I don't know what they call it. They always got fancy names for them. Let's see here, man. We are an hour and 5 minutes in. We've had over 50 people tuning in and only 31 likes. Come on, Dave already told you guys to smash the like. It's that easy, guys. You know the thing, it goes like this. Come on now. Mini disc. I've never heard of a mini disc, but I believe it's mini. Doug says you're right. The head unit is the brain, your electrical is the heart that makes everything go, and the speakers are the muscle that gives all the motion. It's crazy how stuff works out. At some part of me, I wish I would have paid more attention to school, because I think I would have liked it more, knowing what I know now, because it is physics and science. And I find it interesting. And, you know, metaphor or not, it really is. And thank you, Doug. Appreciate you again, man. Tablet to DSP via Bluetooth done. Don't say Bluetooth too loud. Kip's going to start twitching. I run Bluetooth too. I know a lot of guys run direct USB. I know guys that use direct FLAC, like FLAC. I don't even know. They're not iPods, but a FLAC player, you know, directly into it, and no head unit whatsoever. And a lot of people use the tablets, and I've seen that. You can just buy them and put them over your radio, your stock radio. You plug it in, you're done. And that's, again, I feel like it comes down to the control, and that's why the DSP right there that he's talking about makes sense, so that you still have that control. Because with a tablet, I don't know if you're going to have rear, fader, and all that other kind of fun stuff. You definitely need it. And Bluetooth, I mean, it works. I like the wireless CarPlay. It's really fancy, but I also think it's almost the same as Bluetooth. Maybe Kip could let us know here if like the bit rate's the same on the transfer. I don't know. Either way, it works. Let's see. Kip says most any head unit today use Kissel and go straight to the different inputs. Better than RCA 99% of the time, and typically a solid 10 volt signal. Right. And that's the thing. I remember you telling me of like how it just puts a resistor in lines to step down the voltage, and that's pretty much where you get the low level out for the RCAs on a lot of head units. They're not true pre-out low level. And I've been contemplating it a lot, but again, I want that control, but then now it's like, I don't even need it because I have the external wireless BassKnob and stuff. But again, then I'm going to have to go in the back of my amplifier and mess with the crossovers. I am stuck in competition mode and they're wide open. So I am solely reliant on the head unit crossovers, which is what I did anyway back in the day. But still, don't get me wrong, I tried playing with the crossovers on the amplifier and, you know, went back to the head unit like, all right, let's just wide that open and just play with it up here. But still, you know, to get that just pure signal without even having to downstep your voltage and then rear it back up, that's the concept of what's happening here and why he's saying it's better. If you have, you know, like 48 volt setup, like my moped, and then you put a not a converter, but a transformer downstep voltage, and you bring it down to 12 volt just to bring it back up to 48 again, it's not very efficient. It doesn't make sense, does it? Well, that's why he's saying to not even do that, because that's what an amplifier is doing in a sense, is taking that voltage and amplifying it from that low level of that voltage being sent to the amplifier. And if you start higher, the amplifier needs to, quote, amplify less. I don't want to speak out of my own realm of what I know, but that's what that's the way I look at it. And it makes sense, man. If Kip's telling us that's the way to go, then that might be right. That might be right. Thank you, Kipster. John says, I'm going to do my high levels from my Kenwood head unit directly into my audio control D6 1200, the 6-channel 1200. You know, I mean, with the audio control, I feel like you probably got some control there, John. You know what I mean? And I wanted to do it. I really did. I will eventually. I really will. I'll do away with the low-level stuff of the actual voltage. Not the RCAs, you still need those, but with Kicker, they have that Fit Plus technology, and it can take up to 40 volt just pre-out. Like, that's crazy, you know, and that's why he's saying you can get up to 10 out of your whatever, or 15, or up to 40. And, man, if you have to amplify less, it just helps with like the noise floor and that kind of stuff, you know, and you don't need to crank up the gain. You don't need to crank up the gain. If you ever looked at the little numbers on a gain, you know, it's got like 0.5, 1, and then 2. Those mean something. Those mean something. So then if you got whatever, well, it's actually backwards, but still, you get what I'm saying. And if you got 2 pre-out voltage, then you only need it there. You don't need it at 0.5, you know, because then when you have that head unit actually putting out 2 volt pre-out and you got it set at 0.5, it's going to be just hard clip. You know, you're going to get there way before the volume of what that head unit does. You'll be full tilt boogie at volume 30% rather than 100. And it helps with that and with just noise floor and all that fun stuff, man. Thank you, John and Kip. You guys are awesome. CM, appreciate your comment today. Explode logo and Dubby. Dubby's coming to Slamology with a 34-inch Sony Explode. Kind of like this one here. I think that one's actually the 54 model, but that one's discontinued. Okay, let's see it. Just me. Thanks for tuning in, Dean. With the fancy screens and the newer cars, the market for head units is getting smaller, and that's another factor. You don't want to even change half of them. They come with these huge 20-inch screens that you're talking about there. Why would you want to put in a 7-inch wide screen that has Bluetooth when yours has CarPlay, wireless CarPlay? Thank you, Will, for liking the stream. Squirrel. And, you know, it's just doesn't make sense to go backwards. So that's why Kicker and other brands too do make the integration better. And that's what the key line of products is. That's what it is. Thank you, Dean. And it is going to get smaller, and that's another reason why it's a decision to make for Kicker to make them, because the market is shrinking of whatever market there was and how competitive it already is. You know, I'm sure those guys that are in it are like sweating, you know what I mean? Like, are the lights going to stay on today? You know what I mean? There's a lot of competition. Troy, thanks for tuning in. Love ya, man. Hope you're doing well. I can't wait to meet you one day, sir. I will. Let's see. Thank you, John. What kind of battery should I have for a 2000 watt SCAR amp? Okay, Mark. Probably the SKV or RP2K SCAR. And if you got it just wired normally, you know, like a 1 ohm load, and you got like 1 to 2 12s on there. I mean, if you're starting with an AGM and you don't feel comfortable with lithium, just because people, it seems like a big step, and it is, but it isn't. But, you know, do what you're comfortable with. And with 2000 watts, at minimum, a Group 31 AGM in the back there. And if you're talking lithium, you know, it could be all different sizes and prices. But I would look at around like price tag of what you're paying to be able to support that with a battery, $300 to $500 to keep it happy. Just because you're dropping to 12 volts doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but you could be a little bit higher with lithium, but then you got to charge higher and you got to know what you're doing up here, and I'd be happy to help you out. But if you want to keep it simple, yeah, man, a Group 31 in the back there just to take the brunt, just so that you're not melting fuses from front to back. If you don't have a battery back there and it can't keep up, that current's going to be demanded from the front of the system almost as much as the back. And you want it to really be just the back, and then whatever the front can supply to the rear, it will do, rather than being drawn entirely through. Like that back battery is it can't give out any more power, so it's going to find the next source. And guess what? That's in front of your fuse block, and you start melting fuses or popping fuses, you're pulling more current than that fuse can handle, and that's why you want to have that battery in the back there. And it does depend the size and the type of chemistry. Try to keep it simple, man. Thank you for tuning in. I'd be happy to help you out if you got any more questions on that. Just turn it off. Yes. When I was okay. I use cassettes and floppy disks. That is how you get true 320 kilobytes per second audio quality fidelity, is by a cassette. Thank you for tuning in, man. Got earplugs. What's up from Cincinnati? Haven't seen you in a while, man. I hope you're doing well. Planning on going to Slam this year. Hells yeah. See you, Andy, in Indianapolis. Slamology or bust. I will see you there, man. And thank you for tuning in. Definitely come up to me. Tell me who you are, man. I know a lot of you guys. I seen Choke Change last year. And he's like, I'm Choke Change. I'm like, what? It's awesome. Let me know, man. And can't wait to see you. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Excuse me. Oh, he's on YouTube right now trying to find out. Well, you know what? You came to the right place. The algorithm is on my side tonight. I got you, Mark. We'll just keep talking about batteries. We'll bring the guys here. I'm looking toward excess power, but I don't want to overpower and start to fry my stuff. No such thing as too much electrical for your car. You don't want to have not enough. That's when you run into the issues. You can have all those batteries. I know a lot of people, we're going to keep it quick. A lot of people say, well, you don't want to run a bunch of batteries. It's going to be hard on your alternator. False, 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 false. It's going to charge all those batteries equally if all the connections are the same. But still, it's easier on the alternator to supply batteries that are always needing charged, which is, wear and tear on your alternator, rather than overworking the alternator, because the battery can't supply the current from the amplifier. So the alternator is trying to supply the battery that can't supply the power. And then what happens is you start to drop voltage even more, and that alternator is just literally going full tilt boogie. And there's more ways to talk about it, and I don't want to bore you guys to death, but how an alternator charges. Just think of water going through a pipe like this, and the pipe's here. It'll slowly go through. But if it's down here like this, it's rushing through. And that's kind of the concept of what you'll be at if you don't have enough batteries in the back of your car, man. Thank you, Mark. Can't have too many. Man, I am so far behind on the comments. We got Jay Shipes up in here. Thanks for tuning in, man. Phone to a JL Bluetooth, then to a DSP, 2 amps. That's awesome. I mean, control. I think that's other than Slamology is next week. Control is king. Control is king. I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with it. Paxton, batteries are heavy too. That's the cool thing about lithium, sodium, lithium titan oxide, lithium iron phosphate. There's all different ones, man. Pick your favorite flavor. It's like ice cream, man. I mean, you could be wrong, but are you wrong? It just depends what you're trying to do and how you do it. Kiss load 2, 40 volts per channel. Kiss load 4, 20 volts. What is the Kiss load? I never had to run one of those yet, but those are for stock OEM vehicles that need a resistance or something like that. It needs a sense of load that the speaker is there so that it doesn't send out power to a speaker that's blown. So when you disconnect it and try to tap in your line out converter, you don't get no sound. It's because the amplifier shuts that sound going out off because it thinks the speaker's disconnected. There's no resistance value there. So what the KISS loads do is they artificially, well, not artificially, I'm sure it's in there, milliohms. They have resistance in there, or not milliohms, just ohms, but still, you get what I'm saying. It acts like there's a speaker there and then also passes that sound through to your amplifier. And that's why he's saying which one does what for how many volts per channel. But that's still a lot. That's still a lot. And you need it for those high premium sound systems that got like 9 speakers. They got a separate amplifier, you know, JBL, what have you, Harman Kardon, those kind of setups that got some power. You need something that you want to be able to get your sound so that it still recognizes that there's a speaker there and that can handle that and then pass it through to the kicker key or DSP or any kind of amplifier. And that's the name of the game there with that, man. Thank you, Kip. Appreciate you. Kip says, Andy, yes, Apple Play transmission is vastly better than Bluetooth. Okay, so it is better. Okay. I need that. I mean, I gave the wireless CarPlay out of the kindness of my heart to Kayla, and it looks beautiful in there. But I needed one, but I was like, she doesn't have one at all. Here you go. Here you go. Thank you, Kip. Let's see. Mark says, I got a Scar VXF, ran off a Scar RP2K. Powered off a secondary battery in the back. It's just a regular 650 crank amp, if I'm not mistaken. Also ran all 0 gauge wire, big 3. Upgrade still dims. Yeah, I mean, honestly, with that 650 crank amp, I'm just going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to tell you this. The battery's too small. Crank amps, cold crank amps, what have you. That's at like 8 volts, not really car audio. But still, you can kind of base it off of an AGM or wet cell, lead acid type chemistry to see how powerful it is. But again, you know, I feel like the Group 31 back there instead of the 650 crank amp one you got might be a little bit better. But to keep your headlights from dimming, it's like you got to stay above like 12.4. Get out a voltmeter. If you don't have one, grab one. You're going to need it. It's going to be your best friend. See what kind of voltage you're dropping to in the back. If it's above 12.8, I don't know what to tell you. Change out your headlights or get a high output alternator or lithium. But if it's not, if it's dropping below that, then that's what's kind of telling you, hey, I'm dipping into my reserve of my batteries. I need more electrical. I need more electrical to take that initial brunt. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of how it's like a key indication. If you're pulling more than what the alternator can do, that's when you're going to drop below a certain voltage, depending the battery. And then once you get past that and it starts going further than that, you're past both. And that's an easy way to start is go with the batteries, add an extra battery in the back. And then if it still doesn't help, different chemistry and or high output alternator or 2, depending how big you go, man. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you tuning in, dude. Trap House, what's up, man?
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You do just gotta look at it. Thank you, Trap House. Hey, Andy, happy to say I'll have an SDK box by Tuesday, according to UPS. Now I have to delete rear seat and make a whole new amp LTO rack. Well, you're going to be happy with that SDK enclosure box. I'm telling you, man, he makes some good... Oh, come on. Where's it at? We got to go over here, huh? Oh, come on, Wiz. Wrong one. There we go. We got the SDK hat over here. He makes some awesome enclosures. And, man, that L7X, people loved that at TDH. And they're like asking me all these questions. How big's your box? What's it tuned to? Who built this? Oh, man, that's like, you know what I mean? You're going to like it. It's going to perform well, man. And, you know, it's just like Napoleon Dynamite. You know, it's getting serious now. Taking out the back seats. And that's the first step, man. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, and thank you for the super chat, sir. Kipalicious. I mean, we do try to keep it to 90 minutes here, but
keep the show to about 90 minutes.
I don't know. We're borderline here, and it's Kipalicious. Appreciate you, Kip. And you know what? On that note, I think I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't want to keep you guys have been here all night, tuned in to the entire show, waiting forever. We do have the little map here, Slamology. Even though you're going to take a look at this, you're still going to get lost. just listen for the bass and look for all the other bass heads that are trying to get in there and, you know, get in. And it's an adventure, I will tell you that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and always being here. Baba, yes, do not forget to announce the Kicker Club group pick-in time. I know, man. What we'll do is we'll have to do it like right before or right after the live stream, so everybody's there, and we'll do it that way. We have to, man. And make sure you hang out at Slamology this year. Thank you so much, Baba, CM, Mark. Anytime, man. And yes, 25. The rain is coming, but hopefully not at Slamology. I hope not. I mean, it's rainology, but still, man. And, shoot, appreciate all you guys. Kip, thank you for hanging out with us and, everybody. And make sure you hang out on the after party, but make sure you guys tune into the live show Saturday. If you're not going to Slamology, we're doing a giveaway that we usually do. Kicking with Andy. I love you guys. Have an excellent weekend. Get your builds ready for Slamology. And I will see you guys there at Slam Indianapolis, Indiana in 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Man, I gotta hurry. I love you guys. And as always, stay living loud. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Ding, 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 ding. Tries are done.
We living loud.
I always do, Dubby. Dubby making fun of me with the background music. I turn it up to 11, Dubby. You see? We don't need it all that loud, though. And yes, Kip, there needs to be a manual. I have a hard time looking at it, too. I don't know what's what. Love you guys. Dang it, Bobby! You gotta come to Slamology. Oh. We need it. Oh, we got need it.
Act like I don't make clouds. Now you gon' act like I don't get loud. Now you gon' act like I don't rock crowds and leave a lot of people with a ghetto smile. I recollect right then you sound like dirt, but I guess what you don't really.
Love you guys. Cornut's taking it. Caboose. Love you guys. I will.